10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
I'm Lindsay Lackey, and I'm the author of Farther Than the Moon. Farther Than the Moon is the story of Houston Stewart, who is 13 years old and has always dreamed of going to space and being an astronaut. This is a dream he shares with his younger brother Robbie, who's 10 years old. But Robbie has cerebral palsy and epilepsy, so it will be very difficult for Robbie to go to space someday. But still, he promises Robbie that the two of them will go together. Houston is accepted into the Junior Astronaut Recruitment Program, a recruitment program for kids put together by NASA and SpaceX. It trains kids in the ways that adult astronaut candidates are trained through education such as physics classes, astronomy classes, as well as simulations. They get to fly flight simulators and moon lander simulations. So Houston is thrilled that he's been accepted into this program. He's really excited to go spend a month down in Houston, Texas with his fellow junior ASCANs or junior astronaut candidates. But he does feel guilty leaving Robbie behind. But he knows that if he doesn't pursue this part of his dream, then he won't be able to honor his promise to Robbie later to take him to space. This book explores how it takes more than just astronauts to get to space. It's a much larger crew of people with a vast skill set that get astronauts to space. It's also a story about how we are all on the same crew. Some of us have different needs than other people, our bodies are different, our beliefs are different, and yet we are all together on this one planet. There is a lot of fun in this story, everything from robotics challenges, which were very difficult to write, just so you know, as well as supersonic jet flights, major competitions, and a lot of competitive fun between the characters and the kids. And it's a story of family and what it means to follow our dreams and whether or not we have to leave the people we love behind in order to achieve the dreams we have for ourselves. As it is inspired from two very personal parts of my life. The first and kind of unusual one is that I have grown up knowing an astronaut. His name is General Robert L. Stewart, and he was the second person in history of only 6 people total to fly the Manned Maneuvering Unit, which meant he got to fly untethered through space. I always wanted to tap into that resource and put his story on the page for young readers because it's such a fascinating story. The other inspiration for me was actually my husband and his younger brother Matthew. My brother-in-law Matthew has cerebral palsy and epilepsy just like Robbie in the story. I wanted to capture that relationship and just how beautiful and how unique it is. There are some really wonderful middle grade books out there that feature characters with cerebral palsy, but I had never seen a story that really honed in on the relationship between two siblings, particularly when one has such a severe disability, and what that means for the whole family, but specifically for that sibling bond. I decided to marry the idea of these two brothers and this dream to write a book about astronauts, and this was the result. The research that I did for Farther Than the Moon was extensive, to say the least. I probably spent a solid 2 years just reading astronaut biographies, space history books, books about astrophysics. I also had the privilege of being able to interview my friend Bob, which really just helped the story and the scenes that I was writing come to life. Perhaps the most fun was that I got to go to Huntsville, Alabama, and actually go to space camp. They gave me access to all of their equipment, to everything that the kids get to do. I got to watch some programs taking place, and I got to explore things like the space shuttle simulations, the moon lander and Orion simulations, the Mars habitat. It just provided so much rich context to the creation of this story. Thank you very much for your interest in Farther Than the Moon. I really hope that you enjoy it. I hope that your young readers enjoy it, and I hope that it will inspire all of us to make space for everybody.